Hello guys. Today we are going to be working in Module 2 and it is our last lesson of the week. It is called Explaining Your Emergency. Okay, so I'm going to show you the objectives quickly. We only have one objective today, and that is knowing how to call for help, stating the emergency, and answering questions about it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and shut off my screen and I will show you the lesson. Share screen. We're going to do that one. Screen number 2. All right, let's practice these words. Looks like our first cluster of words are tornado related. Waiting on my volume to kick in here. Sometimes it takes a while.
Basement.
There we go. Basement.
Basement.
Let me put the volume up a little bit more.
Destroy.
Destroy.
Destroy. Destroy.
Okay.
Safe spot.
Safe spot. Safe spot.
Safe spot. Take appropriate shelter. Take appropriate shelter. Tornado sighting.
Tornado sighting.
Tornado sighting. Trapped.
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 Okay, our next set of words are earthquake related.
Earthquake.
Earthquake.
Earthquake. Shake. Shake.
Shake.
Tremor.
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 Okay, next words are fire related. Okay, first one is
Firefighter.
firefighter.
Firefighter. Wildfire.
Wildfire.
Wildfire. Woods.
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 Okay, our next words are hurricane related.
Emergency rescue squad.
Emergency rescue squad.
Evacuate.
Evacuate.
Evacuate. Evacuation order.
Evacuation order.
Evacuation order. Flooded.
Flooded.
Flooded. Weather forecast.
Weather forecast.
Weather forecast.
Okay, our next set of words are expressions.
Are you injured?
Are you injured?
Send an ambulance.
Send an ambulance.
Stay calm.
Stay calm.
Stay calm. Take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath. 10 miles away.
10 miles away. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why that popped up.
10 miles away.
Okay, now our next set of words are general. Okay, general.
Announce.
Announce.
Announce. Bleeding.
Bleeding.
Bleeding. Cross street.
Cross street.
Cross street.
Cross street.
Direction.
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 Emergency shelter.
Emergency shelter.
Emergency shelter. Location.
Location.
Location. Receive reports.
Receive reports.
Receive reports. Report.
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 Okay, now let's look at the practice.
Cross street.
Cross street. What is cross street in Spanish? Cross street. Calle transversal o que cruza.
Send an ambulance.
Send an ambulance. What is that in Spanish? Enviar una ambulancia.
Receive reports.
Receive reports. What is that? Recibir información o noticias.
10 miles away.
Ten miles away. What is 10 miles away? A 10 millas.
Announce.
Announce. Anunciar, comunicar.
Firefighter.
Firefighter. Bombero.
Emergency rescue squad.
Emergency rescue squad. Equipo de rescate.
Report.
Report. Informar.
Bleeding.
Bleeding. Hemorragia.
Shake.
Shake. We know is batir. Okay, good job. Let's look at the second one. Evacuate. What is evacuate in Spanish? Evacuate. Evacuar.
Really, there's very few people that have access.
Direction. What is direction?
It's kind of a square. So we walk out there, back to the door,
Dirección. Safe spot. O lugar, perdón, sitio o lugar seguro. Next one is location. We know is lugar. Receive reports. Recibir información. Next one is 10 miles away. A 10 millas.
So with your beam system in those extra stores,
Firefighter. Bombero. Take a deep breath. Respirar. Respire hondo. Trapped. O atrapado. Announce. Es anunciar o comunicar. Number 3. Okay, so now we have them in Spanish and we have to match with English. Destruir. We know is to destroy. Dirección. We know is direction. Refugiarse. Refugiarse. Is to take appropriate shelter. Temblor. We know is an earthquake. Excuse me, tremor. It's kind of the same thing. Equipo de rescate. Is rescue team or emergency rescue squad. Avistamiento de un tornado. Okay, we know that is a tornado sighting. Next one is respire hondo. Take a deep breath. Terremoto. We know that is earthquake. Orden de evacuación. evacuation order. And our last one is receive reports or recibir información. I give you the answer there, sorry. Okay, good job. Now let's go to listen. Okay, listen to the conversations, then choose the correct answers.
911, what's your emergency?
I'm calling to report a tornado sighting. I live at 16 Rory Avenue.
What's your name and phone number, ma'am?
Lisa Carter, 555-0193. I'm looking out my window and I can see a tornado not far from here. I think it's on Meadow Lane.
Okay, ma'am. Take a deep breath. What's the cross street?
Chapel Avenue. Yes, the tornado is near Meadow Lane and Chapel Avenue. It's moving in my direction.
Then you need to take appropriate shelter.
Oh no, the tornado just destroyed a house.
You need to get to a safe spot. Do you have a basement?
Yes, I'm on my way down there right now.
I hear a lot of noise.
I think the tornado is getting closer.
Where are you now, ma'am?
I'm in my basement.
Stay calm, ma'am. I'll stay on the line with you and send help if you need it.
Yeah, baselines would be,
Okay, so number one, which direction is the tornado moving? Towards Chapel Avenue, towards Rory Avenue, or towards Meadow Lane? Okay, let's actually re-listen. I'm gonna let you listen to each one twice because that's a lot of information. Here we go.
911, what's your emergency?
I'm calling to report a tornado sighting. I live at 16 Rory Avenue.
What's your name and phone number, ma'am?
Lisa Carter, 555-0193. I'm looking out my window and I can see a tornado not far from here. I think it's on Meadow Lane.
Okay, ma'am. Take a deep breath. What's the cross street?
Chapel Avenue. Yes, the tornado is near Meadow Lane and Chapel Avenue. It's moving in my direction.
Then you need to take appropriate shelter.
Oh no, the tornado just destroyed a house.
You need to get to a safe spot. Do you have a basement?
Yes, I'm on my way down there right now.
I hear a lot of noise.
I think the tornado is getting closer.
Where are you now, ma'am?
I'm in my basement.
Stay calm, ma'am. I'll stay on the line with you and send help if you need it.
Okay, so towards Chapel Avenue, towards Meadow Lane, or towards Rory Avenue?
yeah, so that's, I mean, that's city. So, of course,
Okay, let's try Chapel Avenue. Let's look at number two. Where did the caller go for shelter? To Meadow Lane, to the cross street, or to the basement?
look and see what they have. Of course, they can get alarmed. Right, so it's-
Basement. And number three, why did the dispatcher tell the caller to stay calm?
Silent now.
The tornado was getting closer. Okay, I'm very curious about this because it talks about how she is on the corner of Meadow Lane and Chapel Avenue. So I'm curious to see what number one is. But let's go ahead and do number two.
911, what's your emergency?
I just felt a tremor. My whole house shook and the window in my living room broke. There are pieces of glass all over the floor.
What's your name and phone number, sir?
Andy Smith, 555-0164.
What is your location, Mr. Smith?
At 44 Cherry Road. The cross street is Black Lane.
Well, Mr. Smith, there have been hundreds of calls from your area. I've received reports that there was an earthquake 10 miles away in Forest County.
Really? It was an earthquake?
Yes. Are you injured?
Yes, I stepped on glass. My foot really hurts and I can't stop the bleeding.
Don't move. I'll send an ambulance.
Okay, I'll stay right here, but hurry.
Okay, let's listen one more time.
911. What's your emergency?
I just felt a tremor. My whole house shook and the window in my living room broke. There are pieces of glass all over the floor.
What's your name and phone number, sir?
Andy Smith, 555-0164.
What is your location, Mr. Smith?
At 44 Cherry Road. The cross street is Black Lane.
Well, Mr. Smith, there have been hundreds of calls from your area. I've received reports that there was an earthquake 10 miles away in Forest County.
Really? It was an earthquake?
Yes. Are you injured?
Yes, I stepped on glass. My foot really hurts and I can't stop the bleeding.
Don't move. I'll send an ambulance.
Okay, I'll stay right here, but hurry.
All right, so let's look at number 1. Why does the caller phone 911? Okay, he knew about the earthquake, he received a report, or he felt the house shake. He felt the house shake. Remember, he says he felt a tremor. Okay, next one. Number 2, where does the caller live? On Black Lane, 10 miles away in Forest County, or on Cherry Road? On Cherry Road. His address was 44 Cherry Road. Next one, why does the caller need an ambulance? The house is shaking. He can't stop the bleeding from his foot, or he felt a tremor. He can't stop the bleeding from his foot. All right. Okay,
I'm
let's
calling
move
to report a tornado sighting. I live at 16 Rory Avenue.
What's your name and phone number,
on.
ma'am?
Rory
Lisa Carter.
Avenue. Okay. Let's get role play. Listen to the conversations between the dispatcher and Megan. First, click the exercise tab to do the activity. Okay, so let's listen to this conversation.
911, what's your emergency?
I see smoke in the woods behind my house.
Where are you, ma'am?
I'm at 43 Grove Street, near Elk Road.
We've received reports about a wildfire near Elk Road. You should leave your house. Are you alone?
No, I'm with my husband and 2 children.
Okay, then get your family into the car and drive away from the fire.
Where is the nearest emergency shelter?
On Pine Street in Forest County.
We'll go there right away.
Stay calm, ma'am. What's your name and phone number?
Megan Santos, 555-0146.
Okay, the firefighters are on their way.
All right, so let's look at it. The exercise, okay? Why does Megan call 911? There's a fire at 43 Grove Street. There's a wildfire near her house, or her house is on fire. There's a wildfire near her house. Okay. Number 2, where does Megan live? On Pine Street, on Elk Road, or on 43 Grove Street?
Generally, this
on 43 Grove Street. Number 3, who is at home with Megan? No one, her family, or the firefighters. Her family is correct. Now let's look at number 4. What does Megan decide to do? Wait for the firefighters, go to an emergency shelter, or call 911 again? Go to an emergency shelter. Okay, so let's check these. Ding, ding, ding. Those are all correct. Now let's look at read. Read and listen to the email, then click the exercise tab and choose the correct answers.
2, Sue Wilson. From, Bonnie Moore. Subject, hurricane. Dear Sue, you won't believe what happened to me last week. A hurricane hit my city. On Wednesday night, it started raining really hard. I turned on the radio to listen to a weather forecast. That's when I heard that a hurricane was coming towards my town. I quickly packed an emergency bag with clothes, medicine, and some food in case we had to evacuate. An hour later, an evacuation order was announced for my neighborhood. I wanted to leave right away, but my husband said we should wait and see what happened. By morning, the whole street was flooded and my house was filling up with water. My husband and I were trapped. I called 911 for help. They sent an emergency rescue squad to come get us. Believe me, Sue, we've learned our lesson. The next time there's an evacuation order, we'll leave right away. See you soon, Bonnie.
All right, perfect. So let's look at this exercise. Okay, what did Bonnie do right after it started to rain? She listened to the weather forecast, she called 911, or she bought medicine and food. She listened to the weather forecast. Number 2, how did Bonnie prepare for the emergency? She packed an emergency bag, she called 911, or she had an emergency rescue team. She packed an emergency bag. How about number 3? Why did Bonnie call 911?
No, I get it. I just
She and her husband were trapped. She needed food and medicine, or an evacuation order was announced. Her and her husband were trapped. And then last one, number 4. What mistake did Bonnie and her husband make? They didn't listen to a weather report. They didn't evacuate, or they didn't call 911.
so
They didn't evacuate. Oops, I clicked the wrong one. Okay, correct. Okay, let's go to our next one, which is create.
We talked about this a little bit yesterday.
Okay, choose the correct sounds and text and create your own slideshow. Oh, excuse me. Let's try this again.
911, what's your emergency?
All right, let's listen to our options.
Make sure to have an emergency bag. I'm going down to my basement. A tornado is coming towards my house.
Okay, so what would be your correct answer? Number 3 is correct. Okay, and what I noticed today is that you can also answer it in text, and then it'll actually read it to you.
911, what's your emergency?
A tornado is coming towards my house.
You should take appropriate shelter, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, so now let's listen to the responses.
I'll get out of my car. Okay, I'll take my pets outside. Okay, I'll go down to my basement.
All right, so what is the correct response there? Number 3 is correct. So let's look at the written, which is right there.
You should take appropriate shelter, ma'am.
Okay, I'll go down to my basement.
Are you in a safe place now?
Other than quarters and, you have any other processes, any other technology?
Yes, I'll listen to a weather forecast. Yes, I just closed the door to the basement. Yes, I need to evacuate my home.
Okay, what is my answer? Number 1
Yes,
is correct.
I'll listen to a weather.
Oh,
Yes, I just closed the door to the basement.
I got my numbers confused. Yep, so it is number 2. Let's look at the text. And it's the last one. Okay, so let's listen to it
Are you
entire.
in a safe place now?
Yes, I just closed the door to the basement.
So your workstation.
I hear a lot of noise. Are you okay, ma'am?
Life cycle planning.
I think the tornado is getting closer.
So the life cycle is basically like certain
I have a bag of medicine. The emergency rescue team arrived.
Number 1.
I think the tornado is getting closer.
Perfect. So we'll choose the text. And then we'll play it.
I hear a lot of noise. Are you okay, ma'am?
I think the tornado is getting closer.
Next one.
Are you hurt?
Yes, I listened to the weather forecast. Yes, I fell. I think I broke my leg. No, I can't leave. I'm trapped.
Okay, what is our correct answer? Number 2 is correct.
Yes, I fell. I think I broke my leg.
Okay, so now let's look at it in the text. Here we go. And then let's listen.
Are you hurt?
Yes, I fell. I think I broke my leg.
It's interesting when you're talking about
Okay, last one.
I'll send an ambulance right away. What's your name and address?
Okay, let's look at our options.
Carol Tate, 45 Lafferty Road. My phone number is 555-0149. The emergency shelter is nearby.
Okay, what is my answer?
Carol Tate, 45 Lafferty Road.
Number 1 is correct. So let's choose it in the text. And then that way you can hear it all together.
I'll send an ambulance right away.
Carol Tate, 45 Lafferty Road.
I see the front there.
Perfect. Okay, last section is called Let's Talk. Okay, it says take part in the conversation by choosing and recording your responses. I think we can only do like the first
911.
one.
What's your emergency?
Okay, yeah, it's not going to work because we can't record ourselves. So that is the end of the lesson. Okay. I'm going to share my objectives with you quickly just so that we can do a quick review. Okay, as you can see, we did talk about how to call for help, how to call 911. We talked about how to talk about the emergency. For example, you know, there's a tornado. And how to answer questions like what is your name and your address. Okay, so we can put a little check mark through that because that's completed. And then do not forget to complete the last 2 pages of your packet. Okay, that is lesson 3. On Monday, do not forget to bring this back and, lesson 3. Don't forget to bring this back and then I will give you the packet for module number 3. If you have any questions though, let me know. Thanks.